We have been trained for decades to recognize the signs of a stroke using a simple four-letter acronym, FAST.
Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, and time to call 911.
This public health campaign has undeniably saved millions of lives by helping people identify the most common symptoms
of a cerebral event, specifically those affecting the large middle cerebral artery.
But there is a dangerous gap in this education, a gap that leaves thousands of seniors vulnerable every single year.
Because their stroke does not present with a drooping face or a weak arm. Their stroke presents with a symptom that is often dismissed as tiredness, aging, or a need for new glasses.
That symptom involves your vision.
When the blood vessels deep inside your skull begin to clog or rupture, and a very first warning sign
is often a sudden and specific change in how you see the world.
You might experience a curtain falling over one eye, a sudden loss of peripheral vision,
or a terrified moment where you see double images of everything in the room.
If you rely solely on the FAST test, you will miss these signs.
You will look in the mirror, smile, and see that your face is symmetrical.
You will raise your arms and see that they are strong.
I can speak clearly now, and you will speak a sentence clearly.
so you will go back to bed thinking you are fine. Meanwhile, a blood clot is starving your occipital lobe or your retinal artery of oxygen,
causing irreversible damage that could leave you permanently blind or lead to a massive secondary stroke within days. In this comprehensive guide, we are going to expose the limitations of the FAST method. We will explain
the anatomy of the posterior circulation stroke, the type of stroke that affects vision and balance,
and is notoriously difficult to diagnose. We will reveal the specific visual phenomena,
like amaurosis fugax and homonymous hemianopsia, explaining the biology behind why they happen
and why they are medical emergencies. And stay with me until the end,
because we will provide the vision protection protocol, the specific nutrients you need to feed your optic nerve,
and the simple home tests you can perform to distinguish between a harmless eye floater and a vascular crisis.
Before we dive in, if you have not subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button.
And turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. Part 1. The blind spot of the FAST method.
To understand why you might miss a stroke, you have to understand the geography of the brain.
The brain is fed by two main arterial systems: the carotid system in the front and the vertebrobasilar system in the back. The FAST method is excellent at detecting strokes in the carotid system.
If a clot blocks the middle cerebral artery, which is fed by the carotids,
it affects the motor strip and the language centers, giving you the classic face, arm, and speech symptom. However, about 20% of strokes occur in the back of the brain and the posterior circulation. This area is fed by the vertebral arteries running up the back of your neck. This back part of the brain contains the brainstem, which controls life support functions and eye movement. It contains the cerebellum, which controls balance, and it contains the occipital lobe, which is the visual processing center. When a stroke hits this back territory,
you rarely get a drooping face or a weak arm.
All right, can you give me a smile now?
Instead, you get dizziness, vertigo, nausea, and profound visual disturbances.
Because these symptoms look like the flu or an inner ear infection or just simple fatigue, and they are frequently misdiagnosed.
The doctor checks for arm weakness and finds none and sends them home with medication for vertigo.
2 days later, that patient suffers a catastrophic brainstem stroke that locks them in or ends their life.
We need to expand our vocabulary beyond fast. The eyes are often the only sentinels.
Part 2. The curtain falls. Amaurosis fugax.
The first and perhaps most distinct visual warning sign is a condition called amaurosis fugax. This is a Latin term that translates to fleeting darkness.
It is often described by patients in a very specific way. It starts right here and just spreads downwards.
They say it felt like a shade or a curtain was being pulled down over one eye.
This is not a blurring of vision. It is a total or partial blackout that usually happens in just one eye.
It can last for a few seconds or a few minutes, and then, just as suddenly as it appeared, the curtain lifts.
Because it is painless and because it resolves quickly, and many seniors ignore it. They blink, rub their eyes. But biologically, amaurosis fugax is the eye equivalent of a TIA, or a mini-stroke.
It is caused by a tiny blood clot or a piece of plaque debris that breaks loose from the carotid artery in your neck.
This debris travels up the bloodstream until it reaches the ophthalmic artery and the vessel that feeds the eye. It gets stuck there, blocking blood flow to the retina. The retina is the light-sensing film at the back of the eye. It is incredibly hungry for oxygen. When the blood flow stops, the retina stops working and the vision goes black.
Then the body's natural clot-busting system dissolves the debris, or the pressure pushes it further down the line.
If this happens to you, it is a massive red flag. It means you have unstable plaque in your neck arteries.
It means that the next piece of debris that breaks off might not go to your eye. It might go to your middle cerebral artery,
causing a massive hemispheric stroke that leaves you paralyzed.
The eye took the hit for the brain, giving you a chance to act.
Part 3. The half-world, homonymous, hemianopsia.
There is another type of visual loss that is even more confusing because it does not affect the eye itself, it affects the brain. It is called homonymous hemianopsia, or a visual field cut. In this scenario, you do not go blind in one eye. Instead, you lose the same side of the visual world in both eyes.
For example, you might lose the entire left side of your vision.
This happens because the stroke has occurred in the occipital lobe, and the part of the brain at the very back of the head that processes images. The eyes are working perfectly. They are capturing the light and sending the signal. But the computer that processes the signal is dead.
They might constantly bump into door frames on the left side.
They might only eat the food on the right side of their plate, leaving the left side untouched. because they literally do not see it.
They might be driving and merge into the left lane, crashing into a car that seemingly came out of nowhere.
Very good. Now touch your nose and then back to my finger. Keep it slow and steady. Hold up fingers in their peripheral vision on both sides there. If they can see the right hand, but not the left hand.
Part 4. The double trouble diplopia.
These muscles are controlled by cranial nerves, specifically the 3rd, 4th, and 6th cranial nerves. These nerves originate in the brainstem.
If one eye moves even a fraction of a millimeter slower than the other, and the images will not align, and you will see two of everything. You might feel nauseous, dizzy, or unable to walk straight because your visual horizon is tilting.
Cover one eye. If the double vision goes away, it means the problem is neurological.
Part 5. The crystal in the eye Hollenhorst plaques.
During a routine eye exam, an optometrist or ophthalmologist looks into the back of your eye at the retina.
Sometimes they see a bright reflective gold or orange crystal lodged in one of the retinal arteries. This is called a Hollenhorst plaque.
But the presence of this crystal is a smoking gun. It proves that there is advanced atherosclerosis.
Part 6. The painless deception.
But the brain and the retina have no pain receptors. When a vessel blocks in the eye or the visual cortex, it is a silent event.
Part 7. The eye stroke, central retinal artery occlusion. The vision in one eye goes completely black instantly. It is painless. The eye stroke is the warning shot. The clot that hit the eye could have easily gone to the brain.
Part 8. The great mimic giant cell arteritis.
This is an autoimmune condition where the blood vessels, specifically the arteries in the temple and the head, become inflamed.
Scalp tenderness, it hurts to brush your hair, and jaw claudication, your jaw hurts when you chew meat.
Because of the limitations of FAST, medical professionals are now pushing for a new acronym, BE FAST.
B stands for balance. E stands for eyes.
Part 10. The Vision Protection Protocol.
Step 1. The carotid check. If you are over 65, ask your doctor for a carotid ultrasound.
Step 2. The nutrient shield. Lutein and zeaxanthin are the two primary antioxidants found in dark leafy greens.
Omega-3 fat acids, specifically DHA, are critical. Eating fatty fish like salmon supports the eye vessels.
Step 3. Blood pressure control. High blood pressure is the force that pushes plaque loose. Step 4. Hydration. The eye is filled with fluid called the vitreous humor. Drink water to keep the blood flowing smoothly.
Conclusion. The dashboard of the body.
Your eyes are more than just windows to the soul. They are the dashboard of your vascular system.
Do not cover it up with tape and keep driving. Pull over. Call for help. That visual disturbance is your body trying to save you.
It is giving you a chance to intervene before the permanent darkness sets in.
You have lived a life seeing the beauty of the world and protect that sight. And in doing so, protect the mind that perceives it.
Now, I would love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a visual migraine or a floater that scared you? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story helps others understand the difference.
If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment with 1. If not, type 0. I value your honest feedback.
And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content dedicated to protecting your brain, your heart, and your future.
Thank you for watching, and take care of yourself.